Any minor observation, every small setback, if it all gets under your skin, you're giving away your power. The truth is the most resilient individuals don't have fewer problems. They've just mastered how they react. Picture navigating existence unshaken. No more overthinking, no uncontrolled reactions, just complete control. Here I'll show you how to train your mind to act as if nothing bothers you. Controlling the imperturbable perspective is crucial. The world is full of distraction, others' judgments, constant annoyances, unexpected setbacks. Suppose I explain that authentic force originates from controlling strategic detachment? The secret lies in mastering to separate your feelings from environmental situations. When you allow external events to control your state, you become a puppet of powers outside your command. Yet, when you discipline your consciousness to stay unshaken, you emerge as a commander of your future. As you incarnate this perspective, you exercise dominance without saying a word. Consider the most powerful figures in history. They never were people who responded without thinking to each offense. Their force didn't reside in their capacity to debate, but rather in their capacity to stay unmoved. Envision a moment where someone insults you in public. The instinctive reaction of many would be fury. Yet what occurs if you merely grin and leave? You strip the aggressor of control. Similar rules apply to losses and roadblocks. People who comprehend the power of indifference view defeat simply as information, a learning experience. They don't absorb defeat. They merely witness, adapt, and move forward. How do you cultivate this level of control? Practice the habit of pausing prior to acting. Question internally, does this situation truly affect my long-term goals? One more essential factor consists of mental imagery. See yourself as someone who moves through life unaffected. As you strengthen this representation in your mind, it becomes your reality. Emotional separation doesn't mean repressing sentiments. It's about mastering them. Imagine this. You're in a heated argument. Should you permit their statements to command your sentiments, or should you smirk impassively? As you embrace this method, pressure reduces, clarity increases. What you emphasize, you draw. However, when you seize command of your thinking and feelings, you become the architect of your own fate. Disciplining yourself toward effective distance does not mean you become cold. It indicates you stop letting external forces to dictate your consciousness. Your sentiments support you, not conversely. Purposeful neutrality is exceptional power. We're trained to assume we must care about everything. However, authentic independence emerges when you comprehend that many things are irrelevant. Neutrality doesn't indicate disinterest. It indicates choice. Not each struggle deserves combat. As you cease responding to each trivial annoyance, you recover mastery. Stop seeking approval. Seeking approval is a trap. The moment you give external sources of control to define your worth, you surrender command over your personal existence. Genuine certainty isn't granted. It's forged through individual autonomy. The most attractive persons don't beg for approval. They own who they are, flaws and all. Freedom comes when you abandon the requirement to be accepted by all. Whatever you perform, someone will always have something to say. So why squander your power attempting to satisfy all? If you want to break free from the validation snare, commence by reflecting. Whose judgment genuinely counts? An additional vital move consists of learning self-validation. When you commence perceiving your inherent significance, external approval becomes irrelevant. The second you quit chasing acceptance is the moment you start living freely. Judgment is unavoidable, yet how you manage it defines your strength. Condemnation only maintains as much force as you provide it. When you engage effectively, you allow it to dominate you. The most powerful people don't allow judgment to disturb them. They analyze it with precise consciousness. Capture what's valuable and abandon what's left. Examine condemnation through rationality, not emotion. Two categories of judgment exist: beneficial and harmful. Constructive criticism is valuable. Damaging condemnation, by contrast, is meant to demolish you. Not all voices deserve your attention. When you reply to judgment with tranquil neutrality, you demonstrate to everyone that your certainty is unwavering. The strongest people don't dread judgment. They use it wisely, or they disregard it entirely. Tension uncovers persons. Some shatter, however the resilient continue steadfast, as they discipline their consciousness before the storm arrives. The secret is to detach from the need for control. Not all will proceed according to plan. However, you don't engage effectively. You reply with tactics. The majority fracture during tension because they resist reality. Your thinking is your war zone. The thoughts you allow will determine whether you win or lose. To discipline a steadfast mentality, you should construct cognitive routines. Appreciation to oppose pessimism, strictness to defeat procrastination. Daily, you need to condition yourself to be unfazed, to stop before engaging. Many individuals are prisoners of their feelings. However, individuals who command their consciousness govern everything. Psychological power is constructed in routine, trivial occasions. One of the most powerful mental habits you can develop is detachment. Separation doesn't signify unconcern. It means control. One more essential factor consists of rigor. Consciousness perpetually chases comfort. However, strictness reshapes consciousness. Begin modestly. Dedicate to routines that strengthen your psychological power. Real power moves in silence. It doesn't seek attention. It simply acts and permits achievements to express. The most vocal individuals present are commonly the most vulnerable. If you wish to be valued, quit proclaiming your objectives. Success is not built through words. It's constructed via deeds. The deeper you vocalize, the more you invite inspection. When you function silently, nobody perceives your approach. The strongest individuals don't squander power demonstrating worth. They let their success do the talking. Stillness isn't dormant, it is strategy. When you do speak, your statements possess significance. In a world where everyone is desperate to be noticed, be the individual who doesn't chase notice. As others pursue recognition, you pursue excellence. This is a distinction between those who talk about doing great things and those who genuinely perform them. The instant you see supply and outside approval, you'll notice something. Individuals will begin noticing. They'll inquire about your process. And that's when you'll comprehend you've genuinely controlled the situation, not since you informed everyone, but since you demonstrated it without saying a word.